Hello everyone, no one that's here yet. 2 seconds in, not quite a viewer yet. But I will be starting at the 2-minute mark. Make that about 2 minutes and 10 seconds. 2 minutes starting now. Waiting for the first viewer. Those of you watching the recording, we start in 1 minute and 50 seconds from now. Welcome, first viewer. Hi, Sarah. Welcome, first couple viewers. I don't imagine I'm going to have too many live viewers today because it's a work day, it's work hours, and most people are busy doing that, which is kind of what this is about. I'm relaxed, so relaxed. The sun is out, to answer your question, Sarah. It's a beautiful day. People say talking about the weather is boring. I thoroughly disagree. I think weather is one of the more fascinating things in the world. Welcome, all my viewers, starting in 1 minute. 1 more minute, more like 50 seconds. Hey, Kelly. Had a great time seeing you at Summit, and Lisa. Wish we could have hung out more, but it was so crazy with so many people. Wish our group could have stayed together that last night. Starting in 30 seconds. I'm not even sure what I'm going to say. I know what I'm going to talk about. This one might have been more fun to do when there's more people that are free, like in the evening, but I'm doing it now anyway. They can watch the recording. Thank you, Kelly. Okay, we're about 2 minutes in, or 2 minutes and 15 seconds in, so I'm going to get started. Okay, right off the bat, I'm not going to say anything to, on purpose, offend anybody, but I'm going to say it with all the rough edges, and I'm going to be genuine, and I will have utmost respect for all of you. And all of us have had really bad ideas in our past, and we're going to have bad ideas in our future. But the important thing is that we make new discoveries, and we learn, and we can change our path and be on a better path tomorrow than we were on yesterday. So having said all of that, your paycheck from your job, I'll just say it, your paycheck is like probably the biggest part of your obedience training at the place of employment that you work at. And I know that offends deeply some people, and I don't say it to offend anybody, but your paycheck is the single most biggest tool that your employer has to keep you obedient, to continuously to be controlled and manipulated through the dependency of that paycheck to pay your bills and feed your family. That's just the way that it is. In 1903, the big banks of the world, you know, the Rockefellers, the JP Morgans, and so forth, they took control of the school board of education, and they've been in control of the curriculum for our public school system ever since then. That was well over 100 years ago. And so this was the beginning of all of it. And the government, everyone knows, is a puppet of so many things, but at the high top level of the puppet strings are the big banks, and they control our school systems, and that's why there's no financial education in our schools. If there was financial education in our schools, they would lose their mass number of obedience workers, because people would start firing their bosses and start taking care of themselves and working for passive and residual money, and no more W-2s, because it is the single biggest ripoff. It's the single biggest scam, and 98% of the population depends on that scam to pay their bills and nourish their family. It's so incredibly self-sabotaging and so dumb, but they don't have financial education in our public schools to keep you obedient. So here's the deal about your paycheck. You know, your true paycheck is about 4 or 5 times greater than what it is now. So let's say you make $1,000 a week at your job. Well, you're really making about $4,000 or $5,000 a week. So how much different would life be if you actually got your full paycheck? Well, the only deductions that you see from your paycheck is going to be Social Security, Medicare, state and federal taxes, and if you're in a union, you might see some union dues, and then the premiums for your health insurance. That's it. And those are the smallest deductions. And those are the only ones they let you see. Now, this isn't your boss's fault. Your boss, your employer, is actually a victim of the same pyramid scam that you are. So, as a matter of law, those are the only things that you're going to see deducted from your paycheck. Your real paycheck is about 4 or 5 times greater. The massive deductions that are taken from your paycheck are for things like, well, you get paid time off at your job. How many people are happy about the 1-week paid vacation sold to them as a benefit, or the 2-week bereavement, personal leave, health insurance? Like, you see your cost, the premium, it's generally a low number and your employer pays so much more. None of that is true. You're actually paying for all of that. It's taken out of your paycheck. You just don't see it, and it's a matter of law. And it's done on purpose to keep you obedient. It's part of your obedience training. So, and it's not only that, but you have to pay all of your employer's expenses. You know, your employer is taxed by the government so much that just the taxes, the fees that are involved in employing people, that they're so high, it's about double what you're actually being paid. So just that one expense alone takes about half of your paycheck away from you. You just don't see it deducted in your paycheck because it keeps you obedient. I mean, if you saw how much money is actually taken out of your paycheck from what you do see, you would be like, oh my God, fuck this. I'm being ripped off. You get ripped off. You get ripped left and right. I mean, about 80 to 90% of your paycheck is taken from you. And the only thing you're going to see is the small amounts taken away from you in federal and state taxes and your health insurance premiums and Social Security and Medicare and union dues if you're in a union. That's all you're going to see. And it's completely on purpose because they need to keep you obedient. And it's not your boss's fault. It's the big banks of the world that have been in control of our public school system since 1903. So there's no financial education, so you're not taught this stuff. And of course, they control the government as far as what they regulate. And that's why you only see those smaller deductions from your paycheck. But all of the deductions are so much greater. You're only seeing about maybe 10 to 20% of your real paycheck. That's it. And boy, does it do a good job of keeping everybody obedient, like really obedient. I mean, how many of you, and this isn't to demonize any of you, because I used to do this. I used to brag about, I get 2 weeks paid vacation every year. I didn't know that I was the one paying for it. You're paying for your vacation. You got sick leave, you got all these benefits, you're paying for it. The reason why I'm demonizing, not you, but I'm demonizing how this is being sold to you is because it's a complete lie. You're told it's a benefit. What is the benefit if you're paying for it? It's not a benefit. It's a manipulation. It's something that's being hidden from you to keep you obedient. It's all done in the name of obedience. And they've done a really stellar job because 98% of the population is completely obedient. And most of that 98% is got an ego that's too fucking big to hear the truth about it. And so they will continue to defend having a job as an intelligent source of income. In reality, having a job is the dumbest, stupidest, lamest form of income that you can ever possibly make, especially if you're needy on that to pay your bills and feed yourself and all these kinds of things, because you're just completely ripped off. You're only seeing about 10 to 20% of your pay, and most of that is being hidden from you to keep you obedient. I know I keep saying that over and over again, but I really want you guys to understand how badly you're being ripped off at your job. So, and I'm not anti-jobs. We need jobs. What I am anti is anti-dependency on a job. So, like, if you have a job because you don't need the money, you just like it, cool. Wouldn't it be great if every job was occupied in that fashion? Like, people they intrinsically love their job, but financially they're taken care of by some other passive and residual income, not their job income, because job income is stupid. It truly is income for dummies. And I used to depend on it too. I didn't know any better. But I learned some new things. Eventually, it wasn't always true, but I got to a point where I had a small enough ego and enough humility to where I could heavily criticize beliefs that I had about money and working for a paycheck at some stupid job. I mean, I used to defend that as an intelligent source of income, an intelligent thing to do to provide safety and security is to have a job. It's like, yes, this is what you do. And I used to defend that vigorously. But eventually I had enough humility where it's like, holy crap, I was wrong. And then I got pissed off that I was wrong. because of the way that I was wrong. I was duped. I was manipulated. I was lied to. And, that made me very angry, but with the positive outcome. So it was a good kind of anger. Yes, there is such thing as a good kind of anger that can have a very positive outcome. So it's really important, first of all, like for most of the 98th percentile, is to put their ego in check so that they can listen to whistleblowers and find out the truth about how badly they're being ripped off left and right at their job. It should be criminal, but it's not. It's legal, it's on purpose, and boy does it keep people obedient to that stupid paycheck. And that's the way that it is. I don't suspect we're going to get any financial education in our public school system anytime soon. So you really have to take it upon yourself to at least be curious, to go outside of the box, start coloring outside of the lines, and learning this stuff. So go out, here's your call to action. Go out there and start researching passive and residual income and start learning about it. I don't want you to blindly follow what I'm saying any more than I want you to blindly follow those that are keeping you an obedient worker. I don't want you to be obedient to me. I don't want you to be obedient to people that are controlling you and manipulating you through the dependency of money to pay your bills. I'd rather you were a free-thinking, critical-thinking human being. So go to google.com, go to youtube.com, and start doing searches for passive income and residual income. And you're going to discover a whole new world, and not just a different way of making a livelihood for yourself, but a superior way. It's not different, it's superior versus inferior. One of them enslaves you, chains and binds you to the dollar, and the other one sets you free. You can totally detach yourself from how you spend your time and how you get paid. And that's how you get your freedom of time, so that you can spend your time however you want and to no longer be ripped off so badly at your job in the way that you're being paid. So there you have it. I think that's all I want to say. Oh, I'll close on this note before we just hang out and interact and have conversations. And I'll scroll up and read the comments too. But if you're interested in working with me, I have my website. It's called workwithtom.fireyourboss.xyz. Don't go to .com. It's easy. It's a force of habit. It's a .xyz. workwithtom.fireyourboss.xyz. And I'll edit the description of this video to include that link. So it'll take you just 2 or 3 minutes to read that page, workwithtom.fireyourboss.xyz. I build residual and passive income, and it's the only thing I teach. And I've got a group, a training sequence called 30 Days to Profit. It's self-explanatory. I picked that name on purpose, 30 Days to Profit. The goal is to start turning your first residual and passive profit inside of 30 days. And that's pretty sweet to be able to do that, because then you're finally on the right track. You're on a track that you will eminently emerge at some point in the future as a free human being, no longer controlled or manipulated through the dependency of money. And you will absolutely, once you start that process, you will absolutely emerge at a place in the future where you have the option of firing your boss and getting rid of your job, or keep your job, or get rid of it. The point is you will no longer be needy and dependent on that sick form of compensation that enslaves you. That's the point of all of it. So, work with tom.fireyourboss.xyz. And one more note on that. Don't use this as an opportunity to tell me why you can't do something. I don't want to hear that bullshit. I want you to find reasons why you can do something. And also I want you to know that you will be, before you even contact me, because I only want to be contacted by people who are serious, people that are hungry, and people that are passionate, and people that are humble. I only want to be contacted by those people. So I'm going to say this to filter everybody else out, to prevent them from even contacting me. But for all of you that are really dead serious about this, you will absolutely be required to make a financial investment in getting materials that will allow you to do something that's organic and beautiful and truthful in building residual income. And I know that all my friends are bright enough to understand the reasoning behind that. And one last thing, if you don't have anything to invest in materials, if you cannot make an investment in yourself, I will not turn you away for that. We will get creative. and I will commit to you that we will figure it out. We'll start coloring outside of the lines. We'll get outside of the box of how everyone else is looking at their problems, and we'll find solutions, because the best solutions are always outside of the box. Most people are too egocentric to even venture into. We will find solutions. My start was $0, right? But I had to come up with funding. I had to figure some things out and get creative. So you and I will do the same thing. And so yeah, there you have it. So I'm looking forward to hearing from some of you over Facebook private message after you read Work with Tom.FireYourBoss.xyz. Read that and then Facebook inbox me, and we'll have that conversation, and we'll get outside of the box and find solutions to whatever that you need. All right, so I'm done with that talk. So I'm going to go read through the comments now. Feel free to share this, everyone, and like and love and discuss, and we will start our interactions now. I see lots of people saying hello, hello. Back at you, brother. Back at you, sister. Hi, Loren. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Shion. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Vance. Hi, Neil. Good work, Tom. Resource-based economy, not the current system which will never create equality, eradicate poverty, erode wars, improve real health. Sarah, that's why I went back to school, so I could work for something I love to do. Sarah, you can do what you love even without school. I mean, unless you want to be like a lawyer or a doctor or something like that. Or if you want to teach out of school, then you probably need school. But otherwise, you don't really need school to do what you love. I didn't go to school to do what I love. Hey, Carolyn, nice to see you. Sarah, I'm such an inspiration. That's nice of you. I hope that you are doing something with it. Some kind of action. Some kind of 10 times bolder kind of action. Yes, you're right. That's what I thought. Something like that. Vet tech requires school. Absolutely. That's what I hear anyway. You're right, Carolyn. I would even expand upon that and say not only the world, but the universe is our school. Natural law, universal natural laws, laws of the earth. The natural laws of the earth is our ultimate school, I think. And that can just boil down to the laws of reaping and sowing and laws of promotion. And mermaids and mermen. Inside joke. I think there's one person here who wrote that. Mermaids and mermen. Speaking of school, I was in special education classes and I barely passed. I really struggled. I still got D's and C's in special ed. So I'm not what the 98th percentile would think of as a success story. But what do they know? They're inside that stupid box. I got outside the box. Totally, Carolyn. To expand upon that, Carolyn, we're all teachers and students. We've all got our niches. And the fact that we have different niches and the fact that we've all got our own strengths and weaknesses which are different from each other, when that's met with maturity, we create harmony and we all benefit. When those differences are met with immaturity, it creates division and fighting. And the Lord knows there's examples of both sides of that fence throughout the world. You proved it can be done. I did, and so have others. Well, I think I'm going to end this. Seems like this has run its course. For those of you that joined after I started, the recording will be available in just a couple seconds, literally just a couple seconds after I tap the little finish button. I hope y'all got something out of this. Feel free to share it, like, love up on, discuss, and I'll be back on this thing later for those of you watching the recording that still want to leave comments, and we can still comment back and forth. It's kind of fun. I love that about these things. So yeah, I'm going to close this now. It's run its course. Have a great day, everyone. And I'm looking forward to hearing from some of you on my Facebook private message inbox. For sure. Bye for now.